Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, we're just going to be discussing some of the practice notes that happened today for the Silver and Black. We had a few coaches speak. We'll talk about who they talked about, what they were saying necessarily. Then some of the Raiders players spoke today. I'll also break down some of the injury news. Essentially, if you need updates around practice today, I got you covered. Here's the other thing, though, that I need. I need us to take care of business against the 49ers report, and we are in a hell of a sub-battle this month. And they caught a little bit of ground on us over the past 24 hours. If you hate the 49ers, click that subscribe button. Let's get into the first update today. It's around Dylan Parham, and this is nothing new to anybody that watches this show. In fact, people that are subscribed, that watch the show for months, know that we've been saying that the Raiders are going to move Dylan Parham over to right guard. Today was kind of almost like the official Raiders' new offensive line coach, James Cregg, talked about Parham moving to right guard, and his exact quote was that Parham to the right side because we're going to run more wide zone, and he is more natural on that side. His footwork is better. Again, like when the Raiders first drafted Parham, I said that they could move him all over the football field, and as soon as they drafted JPJ, I said, guess what? Parham, he's going to get kicked over to the right side. So then, let's talk about JPJ. Jackson Powers-Johnson, the rookie, second day out there in practice, continues to impress our offensive line coach. You can tell that he's athletic, that he's got pretty solid job in pass protection so far, which I knew that he was going to be a good all-around blocker, but it's a tough adjustment going from center to guard in general, and then you go center to guard in the NFL, but then also to be able to pass protect at a high level was something that I was a little bit worried about. Seems like he's doing the right things. Cregg said that he's a really smart player, which I do think offensive line is one of those spots that you really, really need to be intelligent to take that next step. And Thayer Munford has done a good job taking that next step. Jokingly, he was asked, James Cregg was asked, why does he think Munford continues to get better and better and better? And one of the things that he threw out there was, well, when you're going up against Max Crosby as often as what Munford is, it's, you only got one option. Either you're going to get better or you're going to get embarrassed every single day. And don't get me wrong, Thayer Munford is here. Max Crosby is here. But they are still NFL players that have been great their entire lives. Nobody wants to go out on a practice field and get embarrassed on a daily basis. Thayer Munford has taken that next step. Another thing that I saw today, another note, and I'm going to say it, y'all can laugh at me, where there's smoke, there's fire. The amount of smoke that is around Dylan Laube right now, I'm telling you what, I'm surprised I'm not coughing up a lung right now. This guy dominated at OTAs, continues to do some solid work at Minicamp. He's been working with the ones in pass protection, and Cadillac Williams was just really talking about how he just is like a sponge and how he soaks up information, and then he's able to go out there and apply it. But he was saying that he's got good hands, quick, explosive, which is going to bring me to this question here for the nation. And this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. If you're like, Mitch, what the hell does that mean? It means you're about to get hit with the YouTube ad break. I want you to scroll on down and answer this question here. How many receptions will the rookie Dylan Laube have this upcoming season? My special number here for Laube is going to be about 20 catches. And that seems high to me. When I originally did my projections on how many receptions players are going to have, especially the running back position, I had Laube at 15, 16. I'm going to bump it up just a little bit above that because of the hype that he's getting, that this guy does seem like if he's already working with the ones in June. I'm putting Amir Abdullah on blast here a little bit. I know they signed Alexander Madison, but if Laube's really truly this special of a talent and not just in, we'll say, special teams, he's going to get more opportunities. More and more coaches continue to hype him up. And actions, they are also showing that with a lot of the words that they're having. How about this, though? Actions speak louder than words. If you walk by somebody and you get a strong whiff, that's a loud action that you should probably use some deodorant. And I think that you should use Mando because they have the best full-body deodorant on the market. $5 off Mando starter pack. Just use code CHAT. And you guys know I'm a big baseball fan, right? Well, who here hates foul balls? And you're like, Mitch, what are you talking about? The kind of foul balls that no matter how hard you scrub them in the shower, they still smell like a week's I don't know, nacho cheese. Nobody wants that. Well, ditch the soap and step up to the plate with Mando whole body deodorant developed by a doctor. This game-changing formula is safe for your entire body and knocks odor like a champ. To me, I like Mando a lot. I use it all over my body. And actually, one of my favorite products that I have here with me is the Mando deodorant wipes. I like the Mando deodorant wipes a lot because you guys know that I just took a trip to the Poconos for my buddy's bachelor party, and I had to go on a flight. Well, sometimes I get a little bit nervous if they're going to throw away my deodorant, depending on the size. I was able to take the wipes, and for a trip like that, you're out on a golf course, guess what? I have no problem in taking out a wipe and putting a little bit on my balls. I have no problem putting a little bit on my back. I am a back sweater as well. A little underneath your armpits. You can do all that stuff, and that's why I love Mando. So if you're listening right now, not only is it clinically proven, but the Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. Kind of like mini body wash deodorant wipes and free shipping. Luckily, I got a discount code for the nation to get you hooked up on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% of your starter pack. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Shout out to them for sponsoring the Raiders Report. All right, we're going to keep it moving here on the show. And, you know, you had a lot of different coaches today talk. One of my favorite coaches that talked today was Rob Ryan. And you want to talk about a hype man. And I get it. Like, there's definitely times where, you know, everybody's got a different Raiders YouTube show, right? Like, Graph and Wasted, they do their own thing. If you're looking for offensive line stuff, I always say, you know, go check out Sanjeet. I like to think of Chugs and I as the hype guys. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch the Raiders Report and you don't come away from the show hyped up a little bit, then I got to do a better job. Or you need to wake up. Maybe you're sleeping through it. Bottom line is Rob Ryan today was bringing the hype, bringing the energy, talking about Malcolm Koonce, saying, like, he's just going to wear people down. The energy, the effort, it's starting to just really, really click for him. You saw him take a leap forward last season when Antonio Pierce took over. I think you might even see a little bit of a leap forward yet again. Max Crosby, the title is best in 30 years. Do you know why? You can say what you want about Rob Ryan. You can say what you want about the past. Like, this guy has coached on many NFL teams, and his family has been a part of many great, I'm talking great defenses. Rob Ryan today said that Max Crosby is the best player he has ever coached in 30 years. And I think for you to give a compliment like that, you can't just say that without having a little bit of backing to it. Rob Ryan is a defensive-minded guy who's been around a lot of football. Go back 30 years, y'all. That's literally in the 90s. Like, I'm just saying, we got a special player in Max, and he always says, like, brick by brick, and there's a reason why so many players are showing up when they don't have to. There's a reason why you're talking about energy. It just seems different. Yeah, it's the coaching staff, but it's also because of 98 right here. Another note that I saw that I would say the two most interesting things from today's show are the Dylan Laube comments of just him, again, where there's smoke, there's fire. There might be a little bit of smoke here around Isaiah Pola-Mao for another offseason. Coach said, you better watch out for this guy. And when you hear Rob Ryan, again, senior defensive assistant, hyping up all these people, I'll admit, it was all hype today and nothing else. So you got to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. This is best shape of life season. But, like, the excitement around Pola-Mao has been there. They also re-signed him this offseason right before the NFL draft, which kind of shows, like, that he is growing and growing. Very smart player, comes from a good football family. So my question to the nation, how many tackles will Pola-Mao have this upcoming season? Because I've also said on this show that when you look at the depth at safety, it's going to be tough for him maybe to find some of that reps. Moehrig's an Epps, hell of a player. You got Trey Taylor, who you drafted in the 7th round, going to be a good player. Then don't forget about Chris Smith, 5th rounder. Like, he's going to have to find an opportunity. So tackles for Isaiah Pola-Mao, let me know down below. I'm going to say he's going to be somewhere around 20, 25 this upcoming season. In terms of the dudes that missed practice today, Colt Miller still dealing with that shoulder. Jake Johanning, the UDFA guard center hybrid, though. I do know the Raiders like him a lot. They gave him a lot of guaranteed money for a UDFA. I want to say $200,000, which was top 3 or 4 for the Raiders out of, they signed 17 UDFAs in general. Darian Butler, Matthew Butler, I don't really have much of an update on Matthew. Darian still dealing with a knee, but Butler is just getting left further and further behind. Ellerson Smith also unable to practice. So 86 guys out there today. These were the 5 that were unable to go. Next thing coming up here on today's show, we're going to be talking about Tre'von Moehrig, Christian Wilkins, and Davante Adams, because all 3 of these players today talked to the media. And if you want to see exactly what they said, you can always go check it out on the Raiders' actual YouTube channel. I like to just give my 2 cents here of what I thought of everything that those guys said. Before I get into that, though, I know this is the Raiders Report, and I know a lot of y'all are probably not fans of either of these teams, but I'm a fan of sports. I'm a fan of chat sports, and if you're a fan of Jeremy Chuggs, well, guess what? He's going to be live today. NBA Finals Game 3. He's going to be on our Mavericks stream, which we will have a stream for both the Mavericks and the Celtics. So if you're sitting around today and it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific Time, and you're like, well, yeah, I'm going to watch the NBA Finals. If you want to watch it with Chuggs, go to the Mavericks by Chat Sports. If you want to hang out with Allie Barefoot and Jake Smitty, you can go to our Celtics stream, which just type in Celtics Chat Sports. We got you covered. Thousands of people will be there. All right, let's look now at Tre'von Moehrig here. He spoke to the media, and to be honest with you, Moehrig just seems like a funny dude where just talks about the defense, talked a lot about, and to be frank, I didn't really get too many notes from Moehrig or even Christian Wilkins. It was more that the defense is out there flying. The defense looks really good. And if you remember last offseason, because this is why I wanted to talk about Moehrig, Moehrig last offseason just spoke about how being in the second year of a defense really helped him just continue to grow. I think now that you're seeing AP step into the building and more players are just saying, we like being at practice. It's fun again. And when you have that it's fun again with a lot of really good leaders like number 98 on defense, and then you combine that with 94 and Christian Wilkins, and then Wilkins is up there saying, hey, Max Crosby pushes me to be the best that I can. But between Moehrig and Wilkins, both guys are just talking about the defense just being super competitive, flying all over the football, and just the energy that this team is going to bring. Like, Rob Ryan was talking about this defense today, and I know I've said on this show before that this has the opportunity to be the best defense in the NFL. I'm telling you guys right now, if this defense isn't top 5, I will be disappointed. Then let's go to the last guy here, which, you got to save the best for last, right? Davante Adams. Davante had some interesting things to talk about, like saying that he feels like it's very easy for him to be able to pick up the Luke Getsy offense, and he said, I want to say the number, it was like 90% of everything that he remembers from before, that he's able to just go out there in a huddle and be able to execute. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was one of the people that was just super nervous when the Raiders hired Luke Getsy to be an OC. But I'm also one of the people for our OG Raiders Report watchers that was so confident in Gus Bradley being a defensive coordinator. And when the Raiders signed Casey Hayward, who ended up being a Pro Bowler, that was like one of the Raiders' best defensive seasons in a very long time outside of last season. My point of reason why I'm bringing this up is I am a little bit more at ease after hearing Davante talk today about how he feels like he knows the offense and he's trying to get everybody else inclined. When you have a veteran presence that as soon as they walk into the room, they got that C on their chest, and everybody in the NFL respects number 17. If he's able to sit up there and help out some of these other younger players, just get a little bit more acclimated, I do think that that's going to help us out in the long run. The other thing that I love that Davante said is he calls Brock Bowers BM, because he's a businessman, and he's always about that businessman. All right, before I get out of here, here's our Madden schedule. If you don't know, I'm going to be live tomorrow, Week 6 against the Steelers, June 13th, and I'm just going to tell you this right now. I need y'all to show out. I need y'all to get ready for a wild, wild day, because the Raiders Report has been challenged by Steelers Talk here, and the Raiders Report, I'm going to say, Chuggs and I have been holding the number 1 spot here at Chat Sports for probably about 3 years of, just getting people to party it up on our live shows. Over the past 2 weeks, we have been surpassed by Steelers Talk. That's how wild that channel has been. So how about this? Let's humble them a little bit. We're going to humble them tomorrow. I'm going to make some crazy deals. Hopefully you all are tuning in. Raiders, Steelers, Madden Sim tomorrow. You better be there.